marvelous day? You know I am. Anyway, today I will be talking about time. All of time. Time immortal. Yes. Like my first video, and space, time, I've told you, is infinite. There is no end. There is no beginning. Okay? There's always. As the saying goes and stuff like that, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one to hear it, does it make a sound? Yes, it does. Because it hits the ground and it causes vibrations in the air, and the vibrations, so the sound is there. Doesn't matter if anyone actually hears it or not, it's still there. As an example, time. If nothing is there, does time even exist? Yes, it does. Because as soon as we think about it, then it exists. Or someone thinks about it somewhere in the entire multi-universe. Some creature. Okay? So it exists. And I believe there's multiple universes, and it goes back so far in an infinite amount of time. It goes backward, and an infinite amount of time goes forward. Okay? There is no beginning, there is no end. That is it. Okay? That is my take on time. But a side point on time itself. Can we travel in time? I say yes. Okay? A friend of mine, I've been trying to get him here as an active speaker, but he's a little shy, so doesn't want to get in front of the camera. But and I've had multiple arguments with him, how he says that if we could time travel, we would change time. And I'm saying, no, we would not. Okay? And there is, I say, when you time travel, you go back in time. Let's just say, well, going forward in time is easy. That's no problem. Everyone does that. But going back in time. But the whole thing is you can only go back in time and nothing can be changed. Not one iota, because you've already done it. To the people in the past, okay, it's happened, and it's their future. But or I'm not explaining this correctly and stuff like that. Read the story, as an example and stuff like that. H.D. Smith on the Devil's Assistant. In that one, I'm going to give, if you're going to plan to read this, please skip over the next minute or so while I explain a few things and stuff like that. But anyway, it has a very good concept of time travel, where she actually does travel in time, where she's trying to fix something, but she accidentally goes back in time, doesn't realize it at first, but then realizes it, and she's still trying to change what to her is her future. Okay, well, what to her is her past, and everyone else's future. Okay, they're trying to, they're trying to kill somebody. She's trying to save him, even though she doesn't like him. Okay, because she gets blamed for it. And she's trying so hard, but everything she does, okay, she realizes, oh, that's why that person said something. That's why this happened. That's why everyone thinks I'm dating. That's why the guy there and stuff like that thinks I'm dating him. Because during that week, she only went back 3 days, but during that weekend, okay, she was trying to save him, and everything she did only made it go towards that he would die in that particular spot at that particular time by that particular person in that particular way, because of what she did. Even though at the beginning she was not, she didn't know she was doing it, and then she was trying to stop it. And she knew everything, but she couldn't. She just forced it into there. In that, if you go back in time, whatever you do is destined to happen. As another example, okay? Let us say Area 51, okay? In New Mexico, where I believe it was 1947, forget the exact date, but anyway, there was supposed to be a UFO crash landing, Okay, there was a lightning storm there. Theory is that lightning hit the spacecraft and it crashed, and then there are aliens. Again, supposedly, I think I've heard things that is supposed to be the Greys, but I think they are from, I've already said in my previous video, I think the Greys are from the future, not actual aliens. Though I do believe in aliens. Let me put it there. I believe there's aliens. The odds are that are too high and stuff like with so many stars, so many planets. There is not going to be some kind of alien life out there. It has to be. No ands, ifs, or buts. But anyway, that's for a whole different video today about time. Okay, if they traveled back in time, okay, because I believe they're time travelers, checking on probably archaeologists or historians, going back in time to check out. You know what? More than likely, they're checking out what actually happened on that date to, so if there were actual some kind of aliens, okay? And guess what? They went back in time to check it out, and then they were the aliens that crash landed there, okay? I'm not sure if that actually happened. The government denies it completely, but there's too many other facts involved and stuff like that. I believe something happened there. But the most likely scenario is aliens from 10,000 years or 100,000 years or whatever it is from the future, going back in time. More than likely, they have a date. They went back in time to check out what happened, what actually happened there, and they were what happened there. They're the ones that got hit by lightning or whatever and crashed, and the government found them. Okay? So they're a military found them. I think that is what actually happened. Okay? So you cannot go back in time to change. Let's say you hate your father. You want another father. So you go back in time. So your mother meets somebody else. That can't happen. Whatever you do will force them to be together because it's already happened, even though you never realized it. The best story, again, another story and stuff like that. It's a short story, very short. Should read. I think also it's a #1. I think on time travel that is very effective. Okay, All You Zombies. Technically, it's an old story, but the author caught the principles of time travel perfectly. In that, this guy goes in, sits down and drink, and tells a bartender his life story, whereas he hates his father. Okay? Well, he wants to find out, he wants to beat up his father because he left him. Finds out that the bartender is a time traveler. Okay? And goes back in time 25 years to about a year before he was born. Okay? He meets his mother. Meets his mother. Okay? No, sorry. No, it goes back 10, yeah. Yeah, sorry, you're right. Goes back 25 years or 20 years or whatever it is to meet his mother. Okay? They meet, and then a few months later, the time traveler comes back and picks him up. And tells him, knew you couldn't take it. Okay? Goes back, goes to the future and puts him into the Time Travel Academy. Actually, before this, he actually goes back, goes forward a year, goes to a hospital where the child is born, where that person was born, where the guy meets his mother and the child himself, goes back, picks it up, goes back another 20 years back in time to give the child to an orphanage. The child is born with both male and female organs. Okay, so that when the guy meets his mother, that's actually him. He couldn't help himself by dating her, falls in love with himself technically, gets her pregnant. He goes to time traveling school in the future. The baby created from there goes back in time to become the mother. So basically, there's only one person in this entire story. Okay? The mother is him. The father is him. The baby is him. The bartender is him. Or her, or whatever, and all that. Okay? There's only one person in the story. Basically, he's traveling in time and stuff like that. He couldn't help himself of conceiving a baby with himself because it already happened. Okay? Whatever has happened. Okay? And for someone in the future, it's always happened. It's set in stone. Okay? Can't help it. It is set in time. Can we change time? No. Not in our universe. Could we change time in a parallel universe? Someone where history has taken a different turn? Technically, yes. We are outside of our time. There's different timelines and all that. I don't think that. I think there's only one timeline. It's great, makes great stories, but I don't think so. So basically, you're saying we have no control over our destiny? Yes, you do, because you don't know what your destiny is. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, in fact, you are making decisions for yourself. Again, another reference, Interstellar. Okay? The guy from the future gets trapped in some kind of worm, time, whatever, and sees his daughter. Is trying to tell her to tell his daughter to tell him, to give a message to himself in the past, not to go on the mission. But he bungles it up because you see in the first part of the movie that he did get the message, but it was bungled up, so made him decide to go on the mission. It doesn't matter. Whatever happened in the past, you cannot go. Someone from the future cannot go in the past and change it. Okay? Someone from the past going to the future and changing it. Well, you can't change you're multiple changing the future, but the whole thing is for somebody somewhere in the multi-universe, it's always the past. Something's always in the past. Okay? I'm explaining this difficultly. All I'm saying is that time travel is possible, but whatever has happened in time travel has already happened. Okay, and it's set in stone. It is not like Doctor Who where he can change things and stuff like that. He's actually stating certain things must happen in time, even in Doctor Who. But the whole thing is that you cannot change time. As my bottom line is that you cannot change. You can travel through time because it's already happened. Multiple. I don't believe it's an easy way to travel. They've actually discovered one way that it might be possible, at least in theory, on paper with the math, in that if you can travel through a black hole. Yeah, a black hole. Because now the theory is, and stuff like that, is that it's not actual, all the things crushed into a little tiny little point in the black hole, matter's crushed so much. But because it's spinning so fast, it's actually a ring of matter. Okay, it's a ring, so you can technically thread through it. Yeah, there's so much radiation there, and an immense amount of radiation, and things going through there and stuff like that. You would be crushed, and the gravitational waves would pull you apart to your very, not even your beyond your atoms, into your individual electrons, neutrons, and protons. Okay, the gravitational waves, and crush you. So no. At least that way of traveling through time is not possible. Well, it's not even conceivable with any kind of technologies that we have now and will probably have in the next couple of thousand years. In 10 or 100,000 years, who knows? But by then, I would hope that we would have some other ways of traveling through time. And yes, it won't be easy, and there will be certain rules and regulations on it. There has to be. Not that you can change time, in that you cannot, but time will let you go back in time. Like I said, Area 51 and Nevada, I believe it was Nevada, New Mexico, whatever it was where the alien crash site, and I believe those were from the future, and they were looking to find out what actually happened there, and they were what happened there. That is my theory. Okay. Thanks. Bye.